Yes, yes. Done. Yeah, there are three approaches to develop the servlet component. Yesterday we completed approach one. What is approach one? Take a class implementing what? Servlet interface and provide definition for service method. Not only service method, along with the service method, we are forced to implement other four methods of servlet interface. What are the disadvantages of this approach, guys? For the sake of one service method, we are forced to implement what? The remaining four methods of servlet component. The remaining four methods of servlet component. What do you say, guys? The remaining four methods of servlet component. Though we are interested in only in one service method. Super. Next, we cannot use protocol HTTP features in servlet component of this approach. In this approach, we cannot work with protocol. Protocol, come on. And this approach is not industry standard approach. Super. So shall I give approach number 2, guys? Approach 2. Take a Java class extending from Jakarta dot servlet dot. Come on, guys. Jakarta dot servlet dot generic servlet class. Generic servlet class and provide implementation for service method having request processing class. Implementation for service method simply having request processing class. Simply and literally having what logic, guys? Request processing class. Are you understanding my statement, guys? Come on. Super. Yeah, let's see. Test servlet.java. Public class test servlet extends. What is there? Generic servlet. What is that generic servlet? Jakarta dot servlet dot generic servlet. Cool, guys. Here is my what method? Public wide service. HTTP. 1 minute. Servlet request. REQ. Servlet response. RES. Throws. Servlet exception, comma, IO exception. This is my request processing logic was. This is my request processing class. This is end of the class. Request processing logic, and this is my end of the class. Here is end of the method, here is end of the class. End of the method here, end of the class. Cool. Got the clarity? Yeah. Now listen, is there any in generic servlet class, how many abstract methods are there? Only one. Is there any pressure to implement remaining four methods? No. Anyhow, we are implementing only required method or not? Are we implementing any unnecessary method here? Are we implementing any unnecessary method here? We are not implementing any unnecessary methods, right, boss? Okay. Super. Now listen carefully. Pros. Pros means positives. Pros means positives. Now listen. We need to implement only the required. We need to implement only the required. We need to implement only the required. What method? Service method. We need to implement only the required service method. Having request processing class. Having request processing logic. Comfortable, guys? We need to implement only the required service method having request processing logic. There is no need of implementing the unnecessary methods. There is no need of implementing the unnecessary methods. Got it? Super. Comfortable, guys? Super. Yeah, this is advantage part. This is definitely advantage part. Generic means not specific to anything. General. Generic means general. Generic servlet means it is not specific to any protocol, boss. Okay. Generic means general. That's the meaning of that. Generic medicine. What do you mean by generic medicine? Not a branded medicine, right? Okay, I will tell a small example. See, the formula for headache medicine is same. X brand will give with the name Saridon, Y brand will give with some other name, Z brand will give some other name. Some people will sell the medicine without any brand name. So that unbranded medicine is called generic medicine. Got it? You know, doctors will loot our money by writing branded medicine. Doctors loot our money by writing branded medicine because they get commission from the pharma industry, right? So that's why in Rajasthan, in entire India, only in Rajasthan, one new law has come. State government has given serious warning to doctors. Don't write branded medicine. You write medical formula. It's up to the patient whether to purchase that formula-based medicine either in the branded one or unbranded one. The rich customer will purchase in branded. Non-rich customer will purchase in unbranded, right, boss? It's something like this. Suppose you have gone to doctor. You are looking very weak. Doctor says you have to take milk every day. So when doctor says you have to take milk every day, it's up to the customer choice. Okay, if customer is rich, he will purchase high brand milk. If customer is not rich, he will purchase doodh milk, right? But milk is common, right, boss? Milk is common. Generic means general, not specific to any protocol. And if you go to corporate hospital, boss, for every corporate hospital, these pharmaceutical companies will manufacture special branded medicine. Outside market, that medicine cost is 1 rupee for the brands that they supply to corporate hospital because they create special brands. Same medicine, same formula, but they will keep MRP of 100 rupees. They keep the MRP of 100 rupees. Is that clear? So that's why we get big bills in corporate hospitals. And if you try to cross-verify, so they say we are giving medicine according to MRP only. But their MRPs are different. They get from pharmaceutical company for 1 rupee only. But on that box, MRP will be 100 rupees. It's like water bottle price in water bottle MRP price in shopping malls. Aisa no na? Outside water bottle price is 20 rupees. For the water bottle, what they sell in the shopping malls or in the multiplex theaters, okay, 100 rupee MRP will be there. Aisa no na? So let it be. Generic means general. This is what I want to say. Super. Cons, guys. Cons. Right, boss. Tell me. We cannot use protocol HTTP features like auto refresh and etc. Unfortunately, we cannot use what? Protocol HTTP features like auto refresh and etc. Everyone convinced, my dear? Got the clarity? Unfortunately, we cannot use protocol HTTP features. Really, we cannot use protocol HTTP features. Super. Next. It is not industry standard approach. Industry standard approach. Standard approach to develop the servlet components. To simply develop the servlet components. To simply and literally develop the servlet components. Are you getting my point there, guys? Super. So this is approach number 2. So, okay. Is it good approach or bad approach? Not recommended. Not recommended approach. Is it recommended approach or not a recommended approach? Not recommended approach. Super. Approach 2. Not recommended. Is it recommended or not recommended? Not recommended. So shall we go for approach number 3, my dear? Let's go for approach number 3. Approach number 3. Take a Java class extending from Jakarta dot servlet dot http dot http servlet class. Take a Java class extending from Jakarta dot servlet dot http dot http servlet class and provide implementation for one of the 2 service methods or one of the 7 XXX methods. Yeah, I don't go for implementation because all are concrete methods, na? And override because we are already definition is there in what other classes. Extending from this one and override one of the 2 service methods or one of the 7 XXX methods having request processing logic. Having request processing logic. I hope you convinced, my dear. having request processing logic. Simply having request processing logic. I hope you got the clarity, guys. Come on, everyone. Super. Now listen. Okay. Test servlet.java. Okay. Tell me here, what is this? Public class test servlet extends. Public class test servlet extends. Tell me. Jakarta dot servlet dot http dot http servlet. Superna boss. Yeah, public class test servlet extends Jakarta dot servlet dot http dot http servlet. There we got protected wide service http servlet request REQ, http servlet response RES. Tell me, throws servlet exception comma IO exception. Simply what, guys? Throws servlet exception comma IO exception. Simply throws servlet exception comma IO exception. Comfortable, my dear? Cool. There. Here we are going to now this time observe HTTP servlet request, HTTP servlet response. That means we are having ability to work with protocol HTTP features or not. We can enjoy protocol HTTP features. Okay. Pros. Pros. Pros means in the bracket advantages. Pros means in the bracket advantages. Tell me. We can place okay request processing logic by overriding only our choice method. By overriding only our choice method. Got it, guys? By overriding only our choice method. Our choice service are 2XXX method. Okay. There is no need of what is that, guys? There is no need of tell me, develop overriding multiple methods as need. Overriding or multiple implementing unnecessary multiple methods. Unnecessary multiple methods. Got it, guys? Super. There is a definitely advantage, na? We have a freedom to use either one of the two service method or one of the 7 2XXX method. Is there any need of overriding or implementing unnecessary methods, boss? Unnecessary methods, is there any need? Got it? Super. Next one is what, boss? We can use protocol HTTP features. We can happily use the protocol HTTP features, right? The protocol HTTP features. We can happily use the protocol HTTP features like auto refresh. Like auto refresh and etc. Next, guys, it is industry standard approach. What, guys? Industry standard approach. Develop the servlet component. to develop the servlet component. Don't you think it's the best approach, guys? Definitely, it's the best approach. So you should prefer using this approach or not? Definitely, we should prefer using this approach or not. Okay, guys. Are you understanding my statement? Test servlet. Here are my positives. Here are my no negatives, guys. All advantages. Whatever problems are there in approach 1 and approach 2 got solved over here or not? So definitely got solved over here or not? Would you say, boss? Liked it or not liked it? Super. So shall I give the procedure to develop our second web application having servlet component as the web component? Let me give that procedure. Let me give that procedure. Procedure to develop. Okay. Develop Java web application. Procedure to develop Java web application. Procedure to develop Java web application. Come on. Procedure to develop Java web application. Procedure to develop Java web application having the servlet component as the web component. Having the servlet component as the web component. Cool, guys. Simply having the servlet component as the web component. Other day we have developed with HTML files. This time I want to develop this. Basically, my thought process is this. Here is my browser. This is my web server. This is my Tomcat web server, guys. Yeah. Here is my web application. I'm going to deploy one web application. Date app. What is that? Deployed web application. Understanding my statement? Deployed web application. Deployed web application. Clear, my dear? Super. Here is my date servlet. Here is my date servlet component. Super. This is my browser window. This is my browser window. Super. Yeah, browser gives by typing URL in the browser address bar, request will be generated. Yeah, definitely there is the browser address bar was. We type the URL because of URL. URL means uniform resource locator or universal resource locator, whatever it is. Because of this URL, request will be generated, right? Yeah. Request will be generated. This is B request. Super, guys. Next. This will communicate with the date servlet component or not? This will definitely communicates with the date servlet component. That is C. Yeah, the date servlet component executes CS. That is D. Super. And the date servlet component gives the result back. The date servlet component gives result back boss. That is E. Super. That is E. Finally, response goes to browse. Here I am going to get dynamic web page. Here I am going to get dynamic web page boss. Dynamic web page. Super. This is going to be F. Here is my response. This is going to be F. This is my response. What this will contain? Very simple. First application na date and time. Date and time is. Come on, guys. Date and time is. What is the date, guys? 12/10, 2022. 12/10, 2022. Okay. 12/10, 2022. Time. What is the time, guys? 16:30 p.m. IST. 16:30 p.m. IST. Sir, why are you saying it's a dynamic web page, guys? Okay. If I give request at this time, current date and time is this. If I give request after 1 hour, the web page will contain date and time after 1 hour. Na? If I give request after 2 hours, the web page will contain date and time after 2 hours. Na, boss? So that means based on time of request generation. Based on the time of request generation, understanding my statement, the content of the web page is changing. So that, can I call this one as a dynamic web page? Can I call this one as a dynamic web page, guys? Come on. Based on the time of request generation, content of web page will change. The content of web page will change. So it is called dynamic web page. So it is called as dynamic web page. So definitely it is called as a dynamic web page. Are you understanding my statement, guys? Definitely, solidly, it is called as a dynamic web page. Super cool. Are you understanding my statement, guys? Come on, are you with me? A, you are right. B, request generated. C, request goes to servlet component. Servlet component is executed. E, generated output goes to web server. F, okay, that output goes to browser as a response. And G, that our response will be displayed in the form of web. Why this web page is called dynamic web page? Yeah, you know the reason. Okay, step number 1. Keep the following software setup ready. Keep the following software setup ready. Right, boss? Keep the following software setup ready. Super. Okay, tell me how to keep the following software setup ready, boss. Tell me. Okay. Tomcat server 10.x. JDK 1.8 plus. Whatever you have chosen during installation, Rama. Okay. Installation. Here, keep the software setup means you have to install now, boss. Okay. It must be matched with that JDK software that is chosen during the installation of Tomcats. Yes. During installation of Tomcat, you have chosen Java 11. You must make sure that Java 11 is in active. You have chosen Java 13. You must choose Java 13. But that is choosing during the installation of Tomcats. Cool, guys. After that, what next? That is Tomcat server 10.x. Next, edit this. 2 or 3 version. Edit plus 2 or 3 version. Got it? Super, boss. Now we have to keep this software setup ready. And all these are ready in our system, boss. All these are ready in our system. Step number 2, Eclipse. Wait for some time. I will introduce Eclipse at right time. First, to understand fundamentals, few applications we have to develop without Eclipse. Few applications definitely we need to develop without Eclipse. Got it? Yeah. Step number 2, guys. Tell me what is step number 2? Keep the following software setup ready. Create deployment directory structure. Create a deployment directory structure. Super, boss. Okay. Listen, wherever you want, you can create it. It's up to you. It's not compulsory. It should be created in the installation folder of Tomcat, in the installation folder of JDK. Wherever you want, you can create it. It's purely up to you. Here is my E drive, guys. Here is my data PP, boss. Here is my E drive. Here is my data PP. Under this WebINF folder, under WebINF folder, classes folder. Okay. Neha Dev, at right time I will introduce how to create this deployment directory structure in the Tomcat itself. Can you stop showing your half knowledge to me, Mr. Madam Neha? At right time I will introduce when to keep in web apps folder. Okay. Please, at right time, right content will be introduced. Please stop showing your knowledge. Super. Tell me, guys. WebINF. Here, servlet.java. I'm going to keep this servlet in a package, Rabab. So after compilation, the dot class file will come in a package. After compilation, the dot class file. So I'm assuming date servlet class is kept in what? com.nt.servlet package. Tell me. Date servlet class. This is my WebINF folder. This is my classes folder. This is my com.nt.servlet. This is another folder. This is, listen carefully. WebINF comma classes folders are standard folders. That means their names are fixed. WebINF comma classes folders are standard folders. That means their names are fixed. Names are fixed or not, boss? Okay, their names are very much fixed. Their names are very much fixed. Are you getting my point, guys? That means their names are fixed. No doubt in that. No second thought in that, right? This is my webinf folder. This is my classes. Guys, tell me. Equivalent slash date app. This is my webinf. This is my classes. This is my. Then date app folder is called. Date app folder is called webroot folder. Webroot folder. After deployment. What is this? After deployment, this folder name becomes name of the web application. So that means entire web application is identified with this name only. The entire web application will be identified with this name only. Are you understanding my statement, guys? Come on, are you with me? The DTPP folder is called webroot folder. After deployment, this folder becomes what? Name of the web application. Name of the web application, my dear. Name of the web application. Super. Now listen carefully, boss. Yeah, in any deployment directory structure of Java web application, always remember WebINF and its subfolders are called private area. Private area. And outside WebINF, whatever folder is there, outside WebINF, other day we kept HTML image files where, guys? Outside WebINF, right? That is called public area. That is called public area. Understanding my statement? Okay. First, let me write. After the deployment of the Java web application, in any web server, the WebINF and its subfolders are called private area of the web application. That means the content of private area can be used only by underlying server and container. Underlying server or container. If the request coming from the browser wants to use, come on, if the request coming from the browser wants to use private area content of the deployed web application, okay, we must it must take permission from, are you listening? Very, very important. Permission from, okay, from the underlying container or server. It must take permission from the underlying container or server. Convinced, my dear? Array, this is like a bedroom locker area. Okay, family members can use now, boss. Your family members can use happily. Underlying server container can use happily. Any outsider wants to use. Definitely you should take permission from family members or not. Your cousin came, you want to use it. You should take permission from you. Our mechanic came to repair the locker. You should take permission from you. Come on. You should take permission from you or not. After the deployment of Java web application in any web server, the web INF and its subfolders are called private area of the web application. That means the content of the private area can be used only by underlying server or container. If the request coming from browser wants to use private area content of the deployed web application, it must take permission from the underlying container or server. Underlying container or server. Got it, my dear? It must take permission from the underlying container or server. I hope everyone thoroughly enjoyed these statements. Convinced, boss? Everyone convinced or not? Okay. Same thing. After the deployment of these are very crucial, guys. After the deployment of the Java web application, no hurry burry. Every point is very important. In any web server, outside folders of WebINF. The outside folders of WebINF is called public area of the web application. Public area of the web application. That means this area content can be used by anyone. Can be used by anyone directly without taking permission from the underlying server or container. Okay. Now I'm introducing one new file called web.xml file. Web.xml file. I will talk about it. Wantedly I introduced a bit lately. Now listen. We generally place Java code based servlet components in private area so that no outside request can access its source code or bytecode directly without having permission from server or container, without getting permission from server or container, so that we can protect by source code and bytecode of the servlet component in a secured manner or not. We can protect the source code of and bytecode of servlet component in a secured manner or not. Is it not interesting, boss? Is it not interesting? Sir, but outsider wants to give request to servlet component. We are protecting source code, fine. But outsider wants to give request from what? Browser wants to give request to servlet component. Then what should I do? We should give permission to that request. We should give permission to certain URL based request. linking with the servlet component by writing special entries in web.xml. These entries are nothing but permissions. These entries are nothing but permissions. Which URL based request should go to which servlet component? We clearly mention in web.xml file. That means through web.xml entries, we take the permission from container and server to make certain URL based request going to certain servlet component. Enjoyed my statement, guys? Okay, guys. Now listen carefully. Once again, I repeat theoretically. Listen carefully. We keep servlet component source code and bytecode. We keep servlet component source code, and first you have to open your brain, Raboy. I should learn subject in depth manner. I should analyze subject in all angle. You have to open your brain. If you don't open your brain, servlet will be like core Java, class will be there, main method will be there. Okay, their class. No. If everything is same, why to learn advanced Java? Advanced Java is different. Moreover, you cannot compare standalone application development in core Java with web application development. Web applications are bigger applications, right? Websites are powerful applications. Can you compare both? Can you seriously compare both, guys? Practically not possible, right? It's really meaningless. And that too, I'm not here to give step 1, do this, step 2, do this, step 3, do this. We try to analyze reason for everything. First of all, you have to open your brain. You have to accept newness. And you have to be ready to learn subject in detail and in depth. Yes or no? Na? So when you are watching a futuristic fictional English movie, you will make your mind very strong to understand the movie or not. You will start focusing more on movie. You'll start reading subtitles carefully without getting any disturbance. Why? Because that's the fictional movie, that to English movie. So that's why we focus a lot or not. Do you keep same focus as you are watching Telugu movie, Hindi movie? No. You will try to keep your double, triple concentration while watching those fictional movies or not. Especially Interstellar. Anyone watched Interstellar? So we definitely need some more attention. At least starting 15-20 minutes. Once you are getting to the movie, yes, you can be normal. But at least starting 15-20 minutes, you should have more focus. Yes, guys. I want you people to have same focus here. Right. I think now people are crazy about Money Heist web series. Okay. Okay. Don't stop watching such web series. It's a waste of time. Right. See, while attending online classes, compared to hard work, focus is very, very important. Right. Compared to hard work, focus is very, very important. Shahir Khan, then what to watch? Okay. You watch YouTube videos related to Java technologies, na? Or try to watch biographies. Try to watch biographies of sports people, biographies of business people, biographies of technology people. Did you ever watch Social Network movie? Mr. Shahir Khan. Did you ever watch social network movie? Yeah, that shows how you are lazy. Social network movie is the movie which talks about how Facebook is evolving. How Facebook is evolved. Now, there are so many movies talking about how McDonald's is evolved. How so many things are there. Super. Rocketry movie is also there. Try to watch those movies. Some motivation will come. What's the use of watching social Money Heist? Showing Batman as a hero. Basically. Okay. Will you allow someone looting your bank account? Will you allow someone looting your bank account and distributing money to others? Then why are you making Money Heist series as a super series? It's meaningless, right? Okay. Super. Can you come back? Everyone, please come back. Everyone, please come back. We keep servlet components, source code and bytecode. We keep servlet components, source code and bytecode in the webinf/classes folder. Nothing but private area. Okay. To protect the source code and bytecode of servlet components from outsiders. In fact, the hackers. Right? This point is clear. Okay. But we we take permission from underlying server or container to allow certain URL request going to servlet components of private area by adding these mapping or linking entries in web.xml file. Yeah. See, guys, outsider is mechanic. Outsider is your relative. Wants to operate locker of the bedroom. So definitely they need to take your permission or not. They need to take your permission in one or other place or not. So web.xml is entries also giving permission by talking to servlet container to allow certain URL based requests going to certain servlet components or not. To allow certain URL based requests going to certain servlet components or not. Come on, my dears. Come on, my dears. Are you understanding my statement? By adding these mapping or linking entries in web.xml file. Simply in which file, guys? Web.xml file. Convinced, my dear? Got the clarity, guys? Super. Now listen. We keep the HTML files, images, okay, JS files, audio files, video files, and etc. Where, guys? And etc. in the public area of the web application. Public area of the web application. Okay. Public area of the web application. Sir, you may ask me, why, sir? You don't need protection for HTML code. You don't need protection for JavaScript code. You don't need protection for images files, audio files, video files. We need. But if you give protection, also waste. Why, sir? Suppose I kept HTML file, JavaScript code in where, guys? Private area. When I give request, its code goes where to execute? Its code goes where to execute? Browser. So if you try to protect the source code also, if you try to protect the source code of HTML file, JavaScript code, still it goes to what browser, right? So is there any meaning of protecting source code of HTML file, JavaScript code? No. So when there is no meaning of protecting source code of HTML file and JavaScript code, anyhow they will go to browser, right? So it's better to keep in public area, na? Make it available for everyone. Make it available for everyone, right? This private public area is like your, what is that? Display items kept in living area of your house. Living area of our house, right? We keep those display items. We want to everyone to see it. Family member should see and outsider should see it. Suppose you got one World Cup, you got some competition, you won one competition, you got some medal. You will keep in the bedroom, you will keep in the living room or not? See, image files, audio files, video files, HTML files, come on. JavaScript. Even though you keep in private area, they definitely try to go to what? They definitely try to go to what? Browser. They definitely try to go to what? Browser. They definitely try to go to what? Browser. For execution. So there's no meaning of protecting source code of these files. So it's better to keep in public area, boss. So it's better to keep in public area or not? Convinced or not? We keep HTML file, image file, JS files, audio files, video files, and etc. in public area of web application because their code or content goes to browser. Goes to browser for execution or display. Display. And so there is no meaning of protecting their source code. Protecting their source code, right? By keeping in private area. By keeping in private area. So we prefer keeping in. We prefer keeping in public area. So we prefer keeping in public area. I think clear-cut idea why HTML files will be placed in public area, why images, audio, video files will be placed in public area, why. Okay, guys. Tell me next one. Why servlet components are placed in private area? Dhananjay Kumar, please, Ra Babu. After listening entire Ramayana, don't ask me who is Sita. Okay. Right, boss. Array, if you try to protect HTML file code, video files code, audio files code, no use, because they need to go to browser side for execution or display. If you try to keep in private area also, its source code cannot be stopped going to browser for execution. Because you are asking this question means I can definitely say you forgot. HTML code is executed by whom? HTML interpreter, where it is available in the browser. JavaScript code is executed by whom? JavaScript engine, where it is available in the browser. Okay, image, audio, video files of the website should go to browser and should display in the browser, right? So that means what? You keep in public area or private area. Definitely for display purpose or for execution purpose, they need to go to browser, right? Are you understanding my statement? So that's why there is no meaning of what? Protecting their code. There is no meaning of protecting their code, right? But when it comes to servlet, what happens? When it comes to servlet component executes in the server, only generated output goes to browser. When it comes to servlet component, servlet code executes in the server by servlet container. Only generated output goes to browser. So that means there is a possibility of protecting the source code and byte code of the servlet component or not. Okay. The servlet components. Okay, servlet components code execute in servlet container web server and only the generated output, the generated output goes to browser as response. So we can protect that. We can protect the source code and byte code of servlet component by keeping in private area. I think this statement has given more clarity. Yes, boss. Next. The HTML files code, JS files code, images, audio files. I think already I have given audio files, video files, and etc. Go to browser for execution or display. So there is no meaning of protecting their code. By keeping in private area. Understanding my statement, guys? I think you convinced, my dear. Got the clarity? Admin, can you share backup videos to students? Today our main focus is understanding private area and public area. Private area is like a locker kept in your bedroom. Family members can happily access directly. But if any outsider wants to access, they need permission from family members. And that permission is given through web.xml for servlet to to allow outside URL based requests or browser generated requests. Next, public area. Public area is like what? Display items kept in hall of the house. Hall of the house. Any outsider can use it directly because they don't need any permission of yours. And family members also can see them. They also don't need your permission. They also don't need your permission. Are you understanding my statement, guys? Getting clarity or not? Super. Now listen carefully. Web.xml file name and location is fixed. Web.xml file name and location is fixed. Understanding my statement, guys? So that means web.xml file name is standard name. So you cannot change it above. You cannot change it. WebINF means what? Web information, web application information. Okay. Web.xml file is called configuration file of web application because it contains instructions to containers and server about the various web components of the web application. Are you understanding my statement, guys? Which URL based request should go to which servlet component of private area will be configured. That means informed to server, informed to container by writing XML entries in web.xml. I think you convinced it, my dear. Come on, everyone. Which URL based request should go to which servlet component of the private area will be configured, nothing but will be informed to container by seriously writing entries in web.xml. So that indirectly what? Taking permissions from, come on, container and server. Container/server. Enjoyed my statement, guys? Okay. Shall we see the next discussion? Web.xml file is also called as DD file. What do you mean by DD file? Deployment descriptor file. deployment descriptor file, because this file will be read and used by servlet container. Come on, servlet container automatically the moment we deploy the web application. The first file that will be read and used by servlet container the moment we deploy the web application is what? Okay. The moment we deploy the web application. The moment we deploy the web application. That's the reason people also calls it as what? DD file. Deployment descriptor. Deployment descriptor. Understanding my statement, guys? Let us summarize. Let us summarize what we learned today. Today we learned approach 2 of servlet class development. What is that? Take a class extending from generic servlet class and implement service method having request processing logic. It's good. We have to deal with only service method. Remaining unnecessary methods we need not to develop. You need not to implement. It's good in that angle. But still same problems are continuing. We cannot enjoy protocol HTTP features. And it is not industry standard approach to develop the servlet components. Next, guys, approach number 3. Approach number 3. Got it? Okay. What is approach number 3, guys? Come on, everyone. Take a Java class extending from HTTP servlet class. Override one of the 2 service methods or one of the 7 do triplex methods having request processing logic, right? Having request processing logic. All are advantages. We need to deal with one method to place request processing logic. We can happily use protocol HTTP features. And it is mandatory. It is industry standard approach to develop the servlet component class. So entire industry follows approach number 3. Then we decided to develop one web application here. A DataPP web application we want to deploy in Tomcat server. When I give request to that servlet component, it sends response having dynamic web page. In that dynamic web page, date and time will be displayed. Date and time values will be displayed. How can you say dynamic web page? Based on time of request generation, the content of the web page is changed. That's why it's a dynamic web page. Okay, we kept some software setup ready, same old one, which is already there. We created deployment directory structure. Right now, boss? Okay, deployment directory structure. Neha, Dev, we already kept the software setup ready. We developed first application, same software setup. Okay, next. We created deployment directory structure, guys. There I have given web.inf classes folder. There's .java file and .class files of servlet component. Web.inf classes, web.xml. These are fixed names, right? These are fixed names. And after deployment, web.inf and its subfolders comes under what, guys? Private area. Outside web.inf area comes under what, guys? Public area. We prefer keeping servlet components in private area. Only server and container can use. If any outsider wants to use private area, they need to take permission from what? Servlet container or server by writing entries in web.xml. Right? So in that process, we can protect the source code and bytecode of the servlet from hackers or not. From hackers or not. Okay. Outside web.inf area is called public area, boss. There we generally keep unimportant web components. HTML file, JavaScript, image files, audio files, video file. These things we keep it. Why, sir? We don't need protection for them. Why we don't need protection for them? Because for execution, anyhow, their source code should go to browser, right? Their content should go to browser for display or execution. So there is no need of protecting source code. So when no need of protecting source code, better to keep in public area, because without anyone's permission, anyone can use the content of the public area. Servers can use, outside request can use, browser generate request can use. Okay. See, boss. No one knows private area and public area of web application this much detailed. You want to check? Go to any person who learns courses here and there. Ask them, can you explain what is private area, what is public area in the web application? He already might have completed course. He already might be working in the industry. They don't have clarity. They simply blindly follow steps to develop the application. Are we going to follow the steps, or are you going to analyze the reason behind each step? We are going to analyze the reason behind each step. This makes you more mature developer. More mature developer. You will get satisfaction of learning and satisfaction of application development. Understanding my statement, guys? Okay. Super. Give me time, I will give great content. Give me time and show me interest. I will give great content. You will get goosebumps. Already Ramanjaneli is confirming my statement. He is giving the statement. I already learned Servlet once outside. And I learned outside they didn't teach, sir. They didn't teach. Okay. Super. Mr. Kumar, this is 4 p.m. where Servlet JSP classes